Hello viewers, welcome to Katha Yogam. In this video, we are summarizing the first 10 episodes of our Mahabharata series, exploring the origins and the events that led to the first narration of the epic. This refresher is perfect for anyone looking to revisit the prologue or for those who may have lost track of its vast characters and subplots. Please take a moment of your precious time to subscribe to our channel. It costs you nothing, but your support will help us bring more captivating stories from the treasure trove of Indian epics to you. The story begins in the sacred Naimisharanya forest, where sage Sauti meets Shaunaka and his disciples. They inquire about his travels, and Sauti recounts his visit to King Janamajaya's grand snake sacrifice, where the Mahabharata was narrated. He had also visited Samantapanchaka before arriving in the forest. Sauti explains that the Mahabharata, composed by Vyasa, is considered the fifth Veda, encompassing the knowledge of the four Vedas combined. After completing the epic, Vyasa sought guidance from Brahma, who praised the poem as a guide to learning dharma and attaining liberation. Brahma advised invoking Ganesha to write it. The sages bombarded Sauti with many questions about Samantapanchaka, Janamajaya's snake sacrifice, and the events leading to the narration of Mahabharata during the snake sacrifice ritual. Sauti begins with the origin of Samantapanchaka. Long ago, Parashurama, an avatar of Vishnu, avenged his father Jamadagni's death by slaying 21 generations of Kshatriyas. From their blood, he created 5 rivers and reached out to his ancestors, seeking forgiveness for the killings he had done to protect the innocent. His ancestors absolved him of the sins and declared the site sacred. Samantapanchaka later becoming the battlefield of Kurukshetra, where 18 Akshauhinis of soldiers fell, leaving only 11 survivors. The sages inquire about the scale of the battle, and Sauti explains that each Akshauhini contains 218,700 warriors, including 21,870 chariots, 21,870 elephants, 65,610 horses, and 109,350 foot soldiers. The Kauravas had 11 such Akshauhinis, while the Pandavas had 7, leading to a colossal clash. Sauti then introduces the 18 Parvas of the Mahabharata and summarizes the events that led to the Kurukshetra war. The sages then ask for a detailed narration of the epic and also about the events that led to Janamajaya's snake sacrifice, where the Mahabharata was first narrated. This marks the beginning of Adi Parva. Sauti began his narration from the incident where Janamejaya, the great-grandson of the Pandavas, was conducting a grand yajna for the welfare of his kingdom. During the ritual, a small dog named Sarameya wandered in out of curiosity. Alarmed by its presence, Janamajaya's brothers chased and beat the dog. Hurt and frightened, Sarameya sought refuge in his mother, Sarama, who was enraged by the injustice. Confronting Janamejaya, Sarama condemned the royal family's abuse of power and cursed the king to face fears from unforeseen dangers. Seeking to remedy the curse, Janamejaya appointed Somashrava, a wise Brahmin, as his royal priest to guide him spiritually. The story then shifts to Udanka, a Brahmin who instigated Janamajaya's desire for vengeance against all snakes. Udanka recounted the tragic death of Janamajaya's father, King Parikshit. During Janamajaya's childhood, Parikshit had insulted a meditating sage by placing a dead snake around his neck. In retaliation, the sage's son cursed Parikshit to die from the bite of the serpent Takshaka within 7 days. Despite the heavy guard, Takshaka infiltrated the palace and killed Parikshit. Janamejaya grew up haunted by his father's untimely death, unaware of the full story behind it. Udanka's hatred for Takshaka ran deep, and he saw an opportunity for revenge through King Janamejaya. He manipulated the king, urging him to avenge his father's death. Udanka's enmity stemmed from an incident where Takshaka had stolen divine earrings meant for his teacher's wife as Guru Dakshina. Takshaka refused to return them until the gods Indra and Agni intervened. Fueled by his bitterness, Udanka convinced Janamejaya to organize a grand snake sacrifice, targeting all serpents and ensuring Takshaka's downfall as retribution for his father's death. Overcome with grief, Janamejaya succumbed to his emotions and ordered the ritual, disregarding the warnings of his advisors. The grand sacrificial fire was prepared, and hundreds of Brahmins chanted mantras to summon snakes into the flames. The sages of Naimisharanya, curious about the tale, questioned why Agni, the god of fire, would destroy so many serpents in a sacred ritual. Answering the question, Sauti, the storyteller, continued to narrate the events that unfolded in the life of sage Bhrigu and his wife Puloma. Bhrigu and Puloma had lived peacefully in a forest hermitage until they were disrupted by a tragedy involving the Rakshas, also named Puloma. The Rakshas had long desired to marry Lady Puloma but was unsuccessful. One day, when Bhrigu was away, the Rakshas entered the hermitage and questioned Agni, the sacred fire, to confirm the identity of the lady in the house. Agni, torn between truth and a lie to protect the lady, chose honesty and admitted that the woman was indeed Puloma, who was married to Bhrigu. Ignoring her marital bond and pregnancy, the Rakshas transformed into a boar and abducted Puloma. In distress, Puloma's unborn child emerged from her womb. The child, blessed with divine powers, glared at the boar, reducing him to ashes. Puloma returned to the hermitage devastated and blamed Agni for revealing her identity to the Rakshas. In his fury, Bhrigu cursed Agni, saying, "You who consume the pure offerings in rituals have failed to protect my wife. From now on, you will devour everything that is thrown into the fire." However, Lord Brahma intervened, assuring Agni, "You will remain pure no matter what is offered into your flames." With this blessing, Agni regained his confidence and continued to serve as the sacred fire in rituals. Sauti then continued the story of sage Chavana, the son of Bhrigu and Puloma. Chavana's son Pramati had a son named Ruru with the celestial nymph Gritachi. Ruru fell in love with Pramadvara, a girl raised by the sage Stulakesha. Their wedding was arranged, but tragedy struck when a venomous snake bit Pramadvara, leaving her lifeless. Devastated, Ruru prayed to the gods, who offered to revive her if he sacrificed half of his own life. Ruru agreed, and Pramadvara was brought back to life. They married soon after, but the incident left Ruru with a deep hatred for snakes, and he vowed to kill them whenever he encountered them. One day, Ruru came across a large snake and was ready to strike it down. The snake revealed that it was once a sage, cursed to live as a snake until Ruru spared its life. Freed from its curse, the sage urged Ruru to draw inspiration from sage Astika and to show compassion towards all creatures. Astika, the snake explained, had saved the serpent race from annihilation during King Janamajaya's great snake sacrifice, which was prompted by their mother's curse hundreds of years ago. The snake's wise words about compassion changed Ruru's heart, and he stopped killing snakes thereafter. Intrigued, the sages of Naimisharanya asked Sauti to narrate the story of Astika and the mother's curse that had nearly led to the destruction of the serpents. Long ago, Prajapati had two daughters, Kadru and Vinata, who were married to the sage Kashyapa. Pleased with their devotion, Kashyapa granted each wife a boon. Kadru wished for 1,000 serpentine sons of immense power, while Vinata desired 2 sons who would surpass Kadru's children in strength, size, and valor. Their differing desires sowed seeds of jealousy, especially in Kadru, who felt threatened by Vinata's choice. Kashyapa granted their wishes and left to meditate in the forest. Kadru laid 1,000 eggs, while Vinata laid 2. After 500 years, Kadru's eggs hatched, giving birth to majestic serpents like Anantasesha, Vasuki, Takshaka, and others. Vinata's eggs remained unhatched. Consumed by impatience and envy, she broke one egg premature. From it emerged a radiant being with a fully developed upper body but an incomplete lower half. This was Aruna, who cursed Vinata to serve Kadru as a slave for 500 years as punishment for her impatience. However, he advised her to let the second egg hatch naturally, as the son born from it would free her. Aruna then ascended to the sky, becoming the sun's charioteer. As time passed, Kadru and Vinata witnessed the emergence of Uchchaishrava, the divine horse born during the churning of the ocean. The sisters argued over the color of its tail. Kadru claimed it was black, while Vinata insisted it was pure white. To settle the dispute, they made a wager. The loser would become the other's slave. Kadru, determined to win, ordered her serpent sons to disguise themselves as black hair and cover the horse's tail. The serpents refused, citing the sin of deceit. Enraged, Kadru cursed them to perish in sacrificial flames, a fate that would later unfold during King Janamajaya's snake sacrifice. Realizing their mother's wrath, the serpents reluctantly obeyed. The next day, when the sisters inspected Uchchaishrava, the tail appeared black. Vinata, horrified at her loss, resigned herself to slavery under Kadru. She endured 500 years of servitude, awaiting the second son's birth. Eventually, Vinata's second egg hatched, giving birth to Garuda, a magnificent being with a human body and eagle wings. Garuda's radiant form dazzled the heavens, and sages compared him to a flying sun. Upon learning of his mother's plight, Garuda vowed to free her. He confronted the serpents, who demanded the Amrut, the nectar of immortality, in exchange for Vinata's freedom. Garuda ascended to the heavens, battling Indra's forces to seize the Amrut. Despite fierce resistance, his unmatched strength and strategy prevailed. Impressed by Garuda's might and restraint in not drinking the nectar, Vishnu appeared before him, granting him immortality and appointing him as his divine mount. Garuda returned with the Amrit and gave it to the serpents, fulfilling their demand and freeing his mother. However, he cleverly instructed the serpents to purify themselves in the river before consuming it. While they were away, Indra reclaimed the nectar and returned it to heaven. The serpents, denied immortality, remained bound to mortality and eventually faced their end in the snake sacrifice. Adisesha, the eldest of the Nagas, disapproved of his family's deceitful actions towards Vinata and Garuda. Disillusioned by their sins, he chose to leave them and seek redemption. Performing severe penance, Sesha earned the favor of Lord Brahma. The creator praised his virtues and freed him from Kadru's curse. Immortalized by Brahma's blessings, Sesha was tasked with stabilizing the earth on his 1,000 heads, a role he accepted with humility to uphold dharma. Vasuki, the second eldest, played a pivotal role in assisting the gods and asuras during the churning of the ocean, offering his body as the churning rope. Pleased by his dedication, the gods blessed him with immortality. Unlike Sesha, Vasuki remained with the Nagas, striving to find a way to save them from Kadru's curse. Ilapatra, one of the Nagas, revealed a prophecy he overheard from Lord Brahma. A sage named Jaratkaru would marry a Naga woman of the same name, and their son, Astika, would save the righteous Nagas during King Janamajaya's snake sacrifice. This prophecy gave Vasuki hope. In a distant realm, sage Jaratkaru, a descendant of the Yayavara clan, wandered the spirit world during his penances. He encountered the spirits of his ancestors hanging upside down, punished for his refusal to marry and produce heirs. They pleaded with him to end their suffering by marrying and continuing the lineage. Moved, Jaratkaru vowed to find a suitable bride. Vasuki, aware of the prophecy, offered his sister Jaratkaru's hand in marriage. The sage agreed, and their union was blessed with a son, Astika, a child of great wisdom and radiance. Astika received a profound education from sage Pramati and grew up to be a beacon of hope for the Nagas. Years later, King Janamejaya, determined to avenge his father Parikshit's death caused by Takshaka, began a grand snake sacrifice. The ritual was so powerful that snakes of all kinds were drawn into the flames. As the devastation continued, Vasuki urged his sister to send Astika to stop the destruction. Astika reached the ceremony and impressed Janamejaya with his thoughtful words. While praising the king's virtues, he gently emphasized the value of compassion and the emptiness of revenge. When Janamejaya offered him a boon, Astika asked for the sacrifice to be stopped. Astika's words deeply moved the king, who realized that revenge would only harm his soul. He ended the ritual, saving the remaining snakes and earning eternal respect for his wisdom and kindness. After stopping the snake sacrifice, King Janamejaya felt relieved but was still troubled by a question. He reflected on his own decision to heed Astika's words and stop the sacrifice, realizing the importance of compassion and the dangers of vengeance. Janamejaya turned to sage Vyasa, asking why his ancestors despite having wise mentors like Vyasa, Bhishma, Drona, and Vidura, ended up in the devastating war of Kurukshetra. He wondered why, despite being guided by such wisdom, his ancestors had ignored similar advice and allowed the war to unfold, resulting in the loss of 18 Akshauhinis of warriors. Janamejaya wanted to understand what led to this tragic conflict and why his ancestors did prevent it despite the counsel they received. Vyasa was deeply moved by Janamajaya's questions. He turned to his disciple Vaishampayana and instructed him to narrate the story of the Mahabharata. This, he believed, would help Janamejaya understand the events that led to the Great War and choices behind them. It would also reveal the lessons learned from these events to everyone present at the ritual. From here, the Mahabharata unfolds through Vaishampayana's captivating narration, starting with the births of Satyavati and Vedavyasa. To explore these events in detail, check out episodes 1 to 10. Don't miss episode 11 and beyond as we continue this epic journey and reveal what happens next in the story. Stay tuned to Katha Yogam. If you appreciate our work, please like and share this video with your friends and family. Subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon to get notified when we upload a new episode.